Hello there, and welcome to this live stream, this very special live stream. Um, so Canada is very anti-gun, as you probably know. Canada has one of the strictest gun control policies in the world. Canada also, by the way, happens to be major allies with Mexico. Canada allies with Mexico. You remember Trump, what Trump said, he wants to build the wall. Trump said about Mexico, Trump said he wants to build the wall. Well, Canada has been thinking about building their own wall. So, what do you guys think about that? But I actually like Trump and I'm actually for gun rights. I'm actually for the Second Amendment. So I don't like the fact that Canada is so anti-Second Amendment. Canada is so anti-American. Canada is so anti-Trump. So, what do you guys think? Should Canada build their own wall too? Hello, welcome back to the live stream. Anybody still there? I might wrap up the live stream soon, but I usually try to give it at least an hour. You never know, people might come in. So, I have like severe not depression. I don't want to talk about depression. I want to talk about something else. I'm not gonna, no, not revenge. Vengeance. Well, okay, I'm not gonna talk about that. It's not that I don't have that stuff. I just don't want to talk about it right now. Um, Basically, Canada, as you can see, is corrupt. Canada is extremely corrupt. Like they have transvestite school teachers. What more evidence do you need? Like, do you need do you need a signed confession? Do you need a video to prove that the Canadian government, the government of Canada, is a bunch of corrupt psychopaths and liars? Do you like they have transvestite school teachers? These people are not in their right mind. The people who run the Canadian government are not in their right mind when they have transvestite school teachers and transvestite Canadian police officers. If they're transvestite Canadian school teachers and transvestite Canadian police officers, these people are not in their right mind. So, like Americans, I don't know what else. What more evidence do you need? Do you need a video of it? Do you need like a video of what they're doing? Because you know that if transvestites want to be school teachers, they're not just being school teachers. They're doing more than just being school teachers. If transvestite French Canadian, if rich elite French Canadian who speak French, if rich elite French Canadians want to, if rich elite French Canadian transvestites want to become school teachers so badly, if rich elite French Canadian transvestites want to become school teachers in Canada so badly, you know they're not just only school teachers. You know they're more than just school teachers. So, okay, let's go to the comments. Someone came in, Cloudface Von Ruckus. Cloudface Von Ruckus came in and said, "It's not even a video. How is this a live stream?" I don't know. Well, it is. It is a live stream, so there you go. Then Cloudface Von Ruckus also said, "You need a certain amount of followers to be able to live stream on YouTube Shorts. How did this channel get enough subscribers to be doing this? It's not clickbait. This is not clickbait. How is this clickbait? I show a picture of the actual meme. It's like literally what you saw in the top of the picture. It's the same thing. And then I just show the whole thing. Like, I'm not, clickbait is when you show a picture that has nothing to do, you know. If I could, I would have shown this whole picture, but I showed just a partial of it because I only could show a partial of it, right? So it was an accurate portrayal of the live stream, really, because I showed a portion of the meme. So it's a meme, right? It's a meme. We know what a meme is. I showed a portion of the meme, and then when you click into the live stream, you get to see the rest of the meme, which is really cool. So it's actually not clickbait at all. If anything, it's like good bait. It's Anyways, it's not clickbait. So friggin' guy comes in. Who else came in? Someone came in, Ben Rudkers, and he said, what WTF is this nonsense? And they blame Canada. It's like that South Park episode, blame Canada. The Pope came in, a guy named the Pope came in, he said, I'm from the USA. Howdy, most of our people are terribly and unintelligent. Don't hate on the United States, okay? United States is Canada's last hope for to save us. Okay, because the Russians aren't going to save us. The Russians did this to us. Who do you think's in those transvestite costumes? Who do you think those transvestites are? Half of them are Russians. So the United States is our last hope to save Canada. If the United States doesn't save Canada, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I've been a victim all my life of these creepy transvestite weirdos They molested me, they beat me, they hurt me, and my life is like forever ruined. And I don't know what I'm gonna do if the United States doesn't save Canada. I really don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't want to. It's so hard to to never get justice. It's hard to never get justice. You end up angry and your life is ruined. You're angry, and you never got justice. And it's hard to live a life like that. So if the United States doesn't save Canada, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, I'm definitely not gonna go to Minneapolis, that's for sure. So I always wanted to go to Las Vegas, but then Las Vegas isn't safe either because you remember that hotel? Do you remember there was at the one of those towers at the one of those hotels, right? You remember something happened with one of those hotels? Was it a Trump rally actually? Yeah, it was a Trump rally, right? It was some kind of Trump rally, right? And it was one of the hotels in Las Vegas. I'm also not gonna go to well, I'm not gonna go to anywhere where they have tornadoes because I'm scared of tornadoes and hurricanes. So I probably won't go to Florida. And I'm scared of earthquakes too, so I probably won't go to California. San Andreas. I saw that movie, San Andreas. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, San Andreas, did you think it was smart to do a movie called San Andreas, which is all about an earthquake? Like, is that like supposed to be some promotional, like they have those promotional commercials for like, hey, visit California, visit here, visit, you know, the San Andreas movie is like the worst commercial for wanting to visit San Andreas. Like, visit San Andreas. Ah, earthquake. So, definitely not gonna go to San Andreas. So, hello, the Pope. I didn't like specify exactly who did it to me, but basically they had power, they had status, they destroyed my life. Like I'm a real victim, and then they try to make me look crazy. Well, actually, they did. They ruined my reputation. They ruined my credibility. My life is over. Like my life is done, and I like I don't even. I haven't even. Um. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like why is it so hard to find a good group of people that are gonna do something and stop these evil people? Why? When you're growing up, you think that if one day you'll come across this great society of people, they're good people, they actually care, they're going to stop the evil people. But no, the evil people, they're thriving. The evil people control the world. The evil rich elites, they control the world and they get away with all of this evil stuff. And then the victims, where, like, you know, at least the ones who are still alive, the victims who are still alive, we live with anger and we're upset because of rightfully so, because the evil rich elites get away with everything. It's not fair. Especially when a lot of the victims, like, we're good, nice people. We didn't deserve this. We didn't deserve what they did to us. And then especially not only to become victims, but then for them to destroy our credibility, to call us crazy, to hire private investigators to follow us and try to get dirt on us. It's so painful to not only be a victim, but then to be like re-victimized and then be made look like the villain. Because that's what they do, these evil rich elites. After they victimize people, then they even try to slander the people, defame the people, ruin the people's credibility, make them look like the villains. They try to make me look like the villain. I'm like one of the nicest guys. Okay? And I'm the one of the biggest on freedom of speech. I'm always telling jokes and I respect people's freedom of speech. And like these people, they molested me, they murdered my dog, like, and they just get away with it and they laugh. And they beat me up too, and they pepper sprayed me, they tasered me, they hurt me, they did horrible things to me, they ruined my reputation. And I'm a nice person, and I did not deserve any of this. And maybe the problem was I was too nice, and I let these people walk all over me and destroy my life, you know. But there's nothing I could do because I did try. I did try. I sued them. I did try to do all that stuff. And suing them made them come after me even more. You know, going online and telling my truth, they came after me even more. You know, so it's not like I didn't try. But like, what else can I do but sue them and then try to put the correct truth out there, you know? Then they try to make it look like I'm just some crazy person who, anyways, I can't really explain exactly what happened, but they tried to make me look like the bully when it was not the case at all. It's the opposite, you know? So the rich elites, they just get away with everything. And then I like, oh, yeah, that's right. I like, got where they robbed me when I was in Detroit. They put a gun to my head. They robbed me. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was thinking the other day that maybe I'll go to Germany. I've always wanted to go to Germany and just like have a new, fresh life. But I have a feeling that it'll like what happened to me will even just follow me to Germany. You know, they ruined my reputation. They ruined my credibility. I don't even think I could get a job like anywhere. I mean, you know. No, like I right now I have a job in Canada, thank God. There's an employer. It's a small business, but it's a business. It's a bookstore. I work at a bookstore, but I work at a bookstore part-time, so I have a job. But what I'm saying is I don't think I could get like a real job in Germany, like a job meant for like a working professional, like a career, right? Because there's a difference between having a job where you're like you sell books at a bookstore, you're like a bookstore clerk, and then there's a difference between like, you know, being like a reporter or like a lawyer or a doctor or like having a career like a fashion expert, something, you know what I mean? So they destroyed my credibility, they ruined my reputation. I don't think I can ever get like a real like professional, you know what I mean? Like a full-time like with benefits, everything. So it's really sad because I was really creative. I was a really hard worker. And I still I guess I do use those skills on YouTube. I definitely was able to get a lot of subscribers really fast and get well not actually really fast. I don't know. There's something weird happened with YouTube because um yeah, so YouTube was okay, yeah, this is what happened. Okay, so YouTube went through a phase where they would ban everyone, like for no reason. Like YouTube will ban people. So I was suddenly on YouTube for months because I scared that I would get banned or whatever. So I was like keeping it super PC because I didn't want to get banned. But then I noticed these Russians always put out all of this edgy content, the Russians put, and I'm like, this is not fair. Why can the Russians say whatever they want? But if I say even a fraction of what they're saying, I would get banned. So then one day I said, just F it. You know what? I'm just gonna just say what I want to say. And if I get banned, then I'll get banned again, right? And sure enough, I went to just say what I want to say. And next thing you know, people were like gravitating to my channel. They're like, you know, this guy's speaking truth, right? And I kept expecting every day, oh, this is going to be the day I get banned because all of these, you know, but no, I never did. And then the next thing you know, my channel blew up, not blew up, you know what I mean? Like my channel got really popular and I got a bunch of subscribers and I was able to start live streaming. So, like, you know, it's not fair because like the Russians, they have free speech. They can literally say whatever they want. They can literally invade other people's countries. They can invade Ukraine. And then we all have to applaud Mother Russia. We have to applaud the Russians. But if me, a gay guy, if I like show up 5 minutes late to work because I was buying donuts for everyone, people are like, oh, he showed up 5 minutes late to work. The Russian guy shows up 2 hours late to work and they applaud him when he comes 2 hours late to work. I show up 5 minutes late to work because I was buying donuts because they asked me to buy donuts. And I show up 5 minutes and they're like, oh, the gay guy showed up 5 minutes to work. 5 minutes. He's 5 minutes late. Like that's like this is the kind of stuff we have to deal with, constantly, and it's not fair. But I realized at the end of the day, I need to do a job where I could like be my own boss. But the bookstore is great because I love books, and my employer, she knows how passionate I am about books. I love books. I love to read. Well, not everything at the bookstore. I don't like to read I don't like to read the women's stuff at the bookstore. So if there's a woman that comes in the bookstore looking for those women's books, I'd be like, over there. Me no read those books. Me no read. Suddenly, when it comes to like the women's books, the women book sections in the bookstore, suddenly I become like a Neanderthal. Like book there, books there. I'm like, I don't know nothing. No. She's like, which book do you think I should check out? 21 ways to get the guy to, honey, just give up. No. Buy them both. Buy them both. Why not buy why choose? Why have to choose one when you could buy them both? Next thing you know, my boss is like all happy because like I got, she bought two books instead of one, the customer. But no, I don't run I don't read obviously all books. I don't know like the women's section stuff, the self-help books, the woman's guide to the galaxy, the woman's guide to the galaxy, the woman's everything, So I obviously I don't read those books, but I like books, so I do like my job, but it's not really like a career. So it'd be nice if I could have a career. I can't be like a spy because I can hold down secrets. I'm not good at keeping secrets. I always want maybe be like a spy or something, but I'm not good at keeping secrets. Like I'll give you an example, right? So a few years ago, there was this big disaster in Canada, like huge disaster, and it was like this cyber leak or whatever, like the big computer disaster, and it actually affected Americans. And like Canadians were worried that if Americans found out about this big big computer virus leak, whatever, that Americans would be pissed at Canada for being so incompetent and clumsy for letting this happen in the first place. So the government of Canada was in full-on cover-up mode when they were trying to cover up what happened with the computer systems, the virus leak, which actually affected the national security of the United States as well. So of course, the government of Canada didn't want the United States to like suddenly get pissed off at Canada and come storm Canada. So Canada basically engaged in this big cover up. The government of Canada covered up this whole computer virus leak system, all this mainframe stuff that was happening going on with the computers in Canada, which actually was a national security issue as well for the United States. Oh, I probably shouldn't have told you all that. Anyways, that's what I meant. Okay, I'm not good at keeping secrets. Okay, but actually, no, there was there was much worse that happened. Like for example, there's much worse that Canada actually did. So, oh no, wait, actually, no, 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 no. I'm gonna try to not just spill all the beans. Okay, unless maybe I get on some like American TV show or something like Maury, where they like they hook you up to a lie detector test, right? Actually, I would do well on a lie detector test because I'm a good person. I'm a nice, good person. Like they've asked me, "Did you ever steal?" I'd be like, "No." Okay. They asked me, "Did you ever cheat on your wife?" I'd be like, "No," because I'm gay and I'm a virgin. So, I mean, I'm a gay virgin. So, no, I didn't cheat on my wife. Then they asked me, "Do you watch The Hub?" I'd be like, so anyways, I don't steal and I don't steal and I don't cheat on my wife. I don't have a wife. I'm a gay virgin. They asked me, oh, what they asked me, did you ever cheat on a test? No, never cheated on a test. All my marks were real. I never cheated, never ever cheated. And that's the truth, for real. Like I've never cheated on a test, never, ever. And I can prove it because I failed many tests before. No, no, I haven't failed every test. I failed like gym because like I'm a science nerd, mathematics. I wasn't really good at gym, to be honest. No, I didn't fail gym actually. That was a joke. I actually passed gym. I actually did well in gym actually. This nerd, this science nerd did well in gym actually. So, Because I like the gym, the science part of gym, because we did have a big science component of the gym class. It wasn't just all, climbing the rope and stuff. We actually had like a science component, like kinesiology and stuff like that. So I was good with the kinesiology stuff in the gym class. So I did actually well. And I didn't do too bad in dodgeball, although I got hit a lot in dodgeball. But I didn't do too bad. So yeah, I actually did well in gym. Which classes did I not do well in? There were some. Um, I didn't do well in Canadian politics. I got a 50. I got a 50% in Canadian politics because like it's boring, but you had to take it. It was like a mandatory class. You had to take Canadian politics. Like you have to take like civics or whatever. So I took that class was boring. So I got like a 50 in politics, Canadian politics. But look what I'm doing now. I'm definitely talking about politics now. So, but I got a 50 in Canadian politics in high school. What else did I not do well in? I didn't do too well in French class. I could speak French, but like French is so snooty and snobby. Like, but no, no. So I didn't do it. No, so I didn't do too well in French class. I only got 70. So 70 is like I guess not 50, but it's not like great either. 70. Um, I don't think I did well in history. I don't really remember history, but history again was kind of boring. I was always like into the future. Like I was always like excited about the future. Like I'm gonna be this and I'm gonna be that and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do this. And so I probably should have paid more attention in history actually, because history, it's true. Those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it. So if I had studied history, I would have learned so much wisdom from studying history. I really should have, and I would have learned to not trust the wrong people. So I actually should have paid more attention in history class and less attention in. Did we have future Back to the Future class? No, we didn't. Anyways. But you get my point. I was like really into the future, and like history to me was boring. I'm like, oh, it's done, and it's in the past, whatever. No, 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 no. You need to study history. You learn from history when you study history, especially the Germans in World War II. Like I looked at pictures of the German soldiers in World War II. Those guys were hot, tall, masculine, with big muscles. The German soldiers in World War II. What else? What else did I not do too well in? Probably. I did all right in geography. I got like a 90, but I didn't like geography. I did okay in geography. It was easy to me, but I didn't like geography. I just didn't like geography. Especially like one of the guys in class was like, he was telling me, he was like making a joke that like all of these countries don't accept me because, homosexual. No, no, I know now they do though. Like now they do, but like obviously 20 years ago, times were different 20 years ago, you couldn't just go, you really couldn't go anywhere, really. You had to be closeted everywhere. And I am still always, typically closeted because, you get better jobs, now it's different, but like 20 years ago, it was different 20 years ago, at least especially in Canada. No, actually, geography wasn't too bad, but it's funny how I like my worst class was Canadian politics. I got a 50 in Canadian politics and like now it's like I guess this is the proof. Look at my content. It's like it's like politics gone crazy. Politics gone wild. Actually, that would be a good name of a channel. That would be a great name of a channel. Say I did go to marketing college actually for real. I did after high school I went to marketing. I didn't want to go to marketing college, but anyways. Um but politics gone wild. That would be a great name for a YouTube channel. But I like to do like science and math stuff, so I'm gonna stick to the science and math names. Because but I like to mix politics with science because it makes science exciting and scandalous. So that's why I like to mix politics with science. It's like a dash of politics, a dash of science, a dash of math, and it blends it all together. A hybrid channel makes everything more exciting. Because a lot of people find science channels to be boring. Well, my science channel is definitely not going to be boring. So I understand science and math. I know science and math. Y equals mx plus b, the Fibonacci sequence, chi-square, geometric sequences, algebra, advanced algebra, elimination, substitution, um, coefficients like variables, long division, parabolas, statistics, probability, trigonometry. Uh, Finding the acute angle, finding the isosceles, finding the sin, cos, and tan, finding the sin, cos, tan. Um, what else do I remember doing? Plot on the x and y axis like parabolas, right? Functions and relations, fractals. I like to do fractals. Um, I know about in a self-sustaining reaction is oh no that's nuclear physics. Can't talk about nuclear physics again. At least not on live stream. But anyways, I know a bit about nuclear physics. Self-sustaining reaction. Uh, I know science. I know a lot of science too. I know chemistry, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry. I know stoichiochemistry. I know how to balance an equation, uh, calculate. I know how to physics. I know how to calculate the vector, the magnitude, trajectory. Also, back to chemistry. I know about I know like writing out chemical formulas, the scientific nomenclature, chemical formulas. I know like the chemical formula for oxygen, hydrogen. I know the periodic table pretty well. Hydrogen, oxygen. I can't list them in order. I don't know them that well, but I know a lot of them. Hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, potassium, magnesium, zinc. I said zinc. The noble gases, the metalloids, the alkaline gases, the alkaline earth metals, um, silicone. So I know a lot of the periodic table. I know electrons, neutrons, protons, uh, quarks and muons and gluons. Um, I know. Then let's go to biology. I know a lot in biology. I know genetics, Mendel's genetics. I know evolution. I know molecular biology. Um, I know neuroscience, especially. I know the axon terminal, the dendrites. I know the and neuroscience, the dorsolateral, the sulci and the gyri. I know the left hemisphere of the brain, the right hemisphere. I know the brain stem. I know the basal ganglia. I know the hippocampus. I know the pineal gland. I know the brain stem, the cerebellum. I know the prefrontal cortex, the frontal cortex, the occipital cortex, the Wernicke's cortex, the Broca's area of speech. Um, I know the so yeah, I know a lot in neuroscience as well. Go to environmental science. I know. Actually, I forget a lot about. I guess that was my weak area was of environmental science, but I love to promote about protecting Mother Earth. So- okay, that's strange. I do because I grew up in a polluted city, so I'm very against pollution. So I'm always advocating for cleaning up the city and less pollution. So it's strange, funny how I guess I don't remember as much from environmental science class. We didn't have as much. Environmental science class was more, we did more chemistry, biology, physics, right? Chemistry, biology, physics is like the main sciences, right? But we did have a bit of environmental, yeah, environmental science. Um, I do remember a bit of psychology. Psychology is a lot of it's BS, so actually I don't want to talk about psychology. Someone came in and said I don't go to a doctor when I'm sick. What are you talking about? When did I say that? Anyways, I know also oh I okay, no, he was talking to the other guy, that's right. There were like these two commenters. There were these two commenters that were like fighting sort of. He was talking to me when he said about the doctor thing. So anyways, but I don't trust doctors either. I don't trust doctors. But I do know like, myocardial infarction, myocardial infarction. I know a lot of stuff about like medicine and stuff like that. I know. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm cheating now. Now I opened up a medical term, and I'm not gonna cheat. But the other stuff I knew, the biology stuff I knew. I didn't have to look up the stuff. I didn't have to look up the neuroscience. I remembered the neuroscience stuff. And I also remember actually in neuroscience class, we studied, like we compared the brains of dolphins and humans. Have you ever looked at a dolphin's brain? It's like fascinating. Like a dolphin's brain, it's like it's got extra parts. Like it's mysterious, the dolphin's brain. It's amazing to study a dolphin's brain. Like it's huge too. It's bigger than a human's brain. And of course, size doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to brains. Of course, a smaller brain doesn't the size doesn't matter when it comes to brains, but the dolphin's brain is gigantic and like wow, fascinating. So the neuroscience stuff I actually remember. I don't have to look that up. The medical stuff, I don't like blood, and I really, when you think of medical stuff, it's kind of sad sometimes, because doctor shows. If you watch doctor shows, it's sad, doctor shows a lot of them. Um, but I do know, of course, the myocardial infarction because I'm always worried about having a heart attack. So, um, I don't know much about climate change, but anyways, but yeah, so. I wanted to go to medical school, but my mother used to always tell me I'm too stupid to go to medical school, so uh but I always wanted to go to medical school. But my mother used to always tell me that I'm too stupid to go to medical school. So but I think it's good to have the knowledge of a doctor because so I kind of regret I regret not going to medical school, but I don't think I could have handled it because you have to be able to handle blood. And if I get queasy when I see blood, I can't handle seeing blood. I get queasy. I'm gonna throw up. Like when I see blood, I can't handle seeing blood. Like I'm gonna faint if I see blood. So how could I be a doctor, right? So, you know, It's not that I was like too stupid, like my mom said. It's probably that I just, can't handle seeing the blood, right? That's the main reason wasn't right career for me. But I think it's good to have the knowledge of a doctor for sure. Oh, I just saw a black cat. Black cats, those like that's like the Matrix. Hold on, I gotta go look at that black cat. Hold on, I'll be right back. Wow, there was a black cat. So, it's not. I don't have a cat. But it was outside, and then it jumped onto the windowsill, and it was like on the windowsill, and I saw it outside, and so I went to go look closer. But then, it obviously went away because cats are fast, right? But it didn't go away because it saw me. It went away because it just naturally was going away, like there was moving, right? But I had seen it go across the windowsill, and that's like you remember the Matrix movie when they see the black cat, and it's like deja vu or something, some sort of Matrix single. I guess I didn't pay too much attention in the Matrix movies. I was more like just watching the fight scenes in the Matrix movies, but I should have paid more attention to like what they were saying about being in the Matrix. But anyways, something about the black cat and deja vu or whatever. So I just saw now a black cat going by a windowsill. I'm like, what's this? I'm always flashing back to the Matrix. But then there's like people who've never even seen the Matrix. Can you believe it? There's people, like younger people, like in their 20s. I there's some of them they've never seen the Matrix movies. Isn't that weird? I mean, the Matrix movies, I mean, they're kind of I mean, there's people who never really watch movies at all or television. So, this is television bad for the brain? Is are movies like bad for the brain? Maybe. I don't know. But, how would we know if we're in the Matrix if we don't at least watch the Matrix movie, right? Let's face it, doctors don't know what they're doing. They really don't. And veterinarians are even less qualified than doctors. Veterinarians don't know what they're doing. Doctors don't know what they're doing. You know that like party girl that like cheated her way through medical school? She's your doctor now. She like says like 100 times, like she's a party girl who cheated her way through medical school, and now she's your doctor. That actually would be funny. I should like do voiceovers for like a doctor's show because you know Grey's Anatomy. They're pretty stupid on Grey's Anatomy, those doctors. But imagine be like, this is your new doctor. She talks like this. She says like 100 times, like you know what I mean, like. She's gonna be the one doing her surgery. She went to medical school in New Jersey at the Jersey Shore. She's a Jersey Shore medician, medical licensed medical professional, and she's gonna be doing your surgery, your brain surgery. Imagine if the nurses like talk like that. Imagine if the whole hospital they all talk like how beach people talk. You know, like people from the beach, like surfers. You know, like surfers from the beach. You know, like you know, they make fun of Keanu Reeves when he like the beach. He did the beach movies, right? Welcome to the hospital. Today we have three surgeries on the docket. I'm really busy checking my phone, so I probably should be like writing the surgery list on the board, but the doctors will figure it out. They could do like a whole they could do a whole medical drama like that. They could do like a whole doctor show. Welcome to this hospital. If you don't have insurance, then we're gonna have to ask you to leave. And because we only take people with insurance. And also, we can't guarantee that you're gonna. Anyways, that would be hilarious. They should do a whole medical show, drama show, or at least have a character. They could like have a character like that on Grey's Anatomy. Be like the new doctor. And then it would be funny too if they made her the brain surgeon. Hi, I'm the brain surgeon. I'm gonna be doing brain surgery on you today. I am a working professional. Don't just assume that just because I talk like this that I don't know what I'm doing. I graduated at the top of my class. I graduated on the top of my class. Literally, I graduated on the top of my class. On, I literally graduated on the top of my teachers, my professors, especially the one who taught me brain science and neuroscience. I definitely graduated higher than my neuroscience professor. So imagine you go into a hospital and your like brain surgeon talks like that. She's like your brain surgeon, and that would be a funny Saturday Night Live episode. Actually, no, I like to come up with sketches for Saturday Night Live sketches, and I did come up with something like that. It was called Neuroscience Biatches. So it's like these like neuroscientists from the Jersey Shore. They're all like from the so like they're from the Jersey Shore, but they're like neuroscientists, right? So they talk like they're from the Jersey Shore. So like this is like Wookiee or no, you know what I mean? But anyways, neuroscience biatches, and it's like this drama of like these neuroscientists. It's kind of like the Real Housewives meets The Hills meets Laguna Beach meets like a neuroscience doctor show. They're all like women and they're neuroscientists. So like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to cut this party short. I'm gonna have to leave this club early. And the guy's like, why? Why do you guys have to leave the club early? She's like, because I got surgery in the morning. I'm a neuroscientist. I have to leave the club early. I have brain surgery in the morning. The guy's like, you someone's gonna be performing brain surgery on you tomorrow. So she's like, no, I'm the brain surgeon. I'm a neuroscience. I'm a neuroscientist, brain surgeon, and I'm gonna. I have brain surgery in the morning, so I have to go. I have to leave this club early. The guy's like in shock. He's like, oh. Then the guy realizes he's like, no, he's the one scheduled for the brain surgery in the morning. She's like, wow, what a coincidence. I'm going to be the one doing your brain surgery. then, and then what would be actually more funny in the medical drama is if they were actually good at their job and they were better than like the doctors that talk professional, you know, Like, the doctor's like, I am doctor, whatever, Like, it'd be funny if they were actually like, they sounded stupid, but they were actually the best brain surgeons. That would be funny. So she's like, I literally graduated at the top of my class. Okay. Look, I have like on the honor roll all 4 years. Like, that would be amazing. Actually, that would be funny. Because people would expect them to be bad brain surgeons, right? Because they talk like that. But then what if they're like amazing brain surgeons? So she's like, I'm the most sought after brain surgeon in all of LA or whatever, Jersey Shore or whatever. Jersey Shore, LA, Miami. I am the most sought after brain surgeon in all of Miami. Okay. So, anyways, that would be funny. That'd make a funny Saturday Night Live sketch. Neuroscience biatches. Just like drama of like neuroscience doctors, brain surgeons, brain surgeon biatches. That's Sarah. She's a rival brain surgeon, and she likes to steal my clients. Sarah, you better not come to. That would make a funny drama. That would make a funny TV show. Brain surgery, brain surgeon biatches. They're like brain surgeons, but they're like extra Jersey Shore. They're like extra LA. Like they sound like surfer dudes. Like, whoa, look at that wave, eh? No, I can't do a good surfer dude actually. But sound something like Keanu Reeves, like when he did those surfer movies. Yeah, my other idea for a show was also, the James Bond 007 movies. I thought it would be good because I love James Bond. James Bond, he's one of the few masculine characters we have left. They took all the masculine characters in movies and television and they feminized these masculine characters. Like they want to make Spider-Man a Spider-Woman. They want to make Spider-Man a Spider-Woman. You know what I mean? So, anyways, they took all these masculine characters in movies and feminized them, and so James Bond is like the only masculine alpha male we have left, right? And I love James Bond, so I think it would be cool, especially since now, like the whole James Bond franchise, they're reinventing it. It'd be cool if they adapted it to a television series, like a TV series, called James Bond, like James Bond 007, and they can make it more detective-y, right? Like Sherlock Holmes, right? Well, Sherlock Holmes is like really like outdated, like back in the past, right? Like Sherlock Holmes is like from whatever, like the however many centuries ago the Sherlock Holmes, but they could take James Bond and make him more like of a detective kind of. So there would be action in the TV series. Don't get me wrong. There would be fight scenes. There would be some action in the TV show episodes, but there would also be a big like detective element to the James Bond series, the television series. So they could make James Bond also like give him detective skills. Because if you notice, in the James Bond movies, he's not like really a detective too much. It like the bad guys make it so obvious who the bad guys are. Like it's the guy with the scar on his face. It's the guy holding the pink umbrella with the scar on his face. That's the bad guy. And James Bond is not really need to be a detective. It's like the bad guys just announce themselves, right? The bad guys just show up on the video for James Bond. So James Bond, okay, knows who the bad guys are, right? So James Bond's not really like a too much of a detective. Sometimes he is, but not much. Usually in the James Bond movies, the bad guys just announce themselves like as the Bond villains. So it'd be funny if they took James Bond 007 and they did a TV series and they made it more detective-y. So there was more like detective work and you got to like solve the crime with James Bond, right? And then there's also the action part of it, which would be good too. So it'd be like a mix of the blend of detective stuff. Because, detective TV shows are pretty popular. So they could make like a detective version of James Bond. And I think that would be cool. They could have a new James Bond actor. And it could be like a TV series. I think a James Bond TV series would actually do well. I think it would be do well better than Terminator. The Terminator TV series with Sarah Connor only lasted what, like 2 seasons. So I think a detective TV show would because detective shows like CSI Miami, CSI New York, Criminal Minds, those detective TV series, they do pretty Sherlock Holmes, they do pretty well, right? Watson, they do pretty well. So I think it'd be cool. They could do like a James Bond detective TV series, and I just hope they pick a really masculine James Bond. He's really tall. He's got muscles, muscular, masculine James Bond, alpha male. Like make him an alpha male and make him a ladies man. Make him a ladies man. Make him an alpha male. Make him like really masculine, like a true alpha male. Because James Bond, he's supposed to be an alpha male. He's like one of the only alpha male characters we have left. So take a new James Bond actor, make him an alpha male, make him cocky, make him really cocky and confident, make him an alpha male, and make him hot, make him really tall with muscles, you know. And yeah, I think that would be. I think it would be good. I think it would make a good TV series. I really think. I think it would get people watching television again. I really do. And they already have a big James Bond audience. There's a big James Bond 007 fan following, anyways. So I'm sure the TV series would already have a following. I would watch it if I heard there was a James Bond 007 TV series. Of course, I would watch it. At least the first 3 episodes for sure. You know. So they already have a fan base, right, for the James Bond 007. So they could adapt it to a TV series. They could call it something like Bonded or something. And then what would be great too is they could have other characters. Like they could start introducing more characters than just James Bond. Because if you notice, Bond girls, they don't last very long, right? Like the Bond girls in the James Bond movies, they don't last. They're lucky if they make it to the second movie. Like you remember that last Bond girl who was like in 2 3 movies? I was shocked. I'm like, they didn't kill her off yet. It's like she didn't die yet. Like I was shocked that the one of the Bond girls made it to like 3 movies. So in the James Bond 007 TV series, obviously they could actually have a Bond girl who could like last the whole season. They could have a Bond girl who could, and so instead of like every Bond movie has a different Bond girl and she dies probably after the first 5 minutes. They could have like a James Bond 007 TV series where they have a Bond girl who could maybe commit to a whole season at least, right? So maybe she dies at the end of the season or she moves on or whatever. Obviously, you don't just want one Bond girl for the whole series because it's good to switch it up, get new actresses in there, right? Um, but at least they could have like per season, so like season one, season two, season three could each have different Bond girls, right? So it'd be really interesting too. I think I would like to see Taylor Swift go into acting personally because I don't think she's a good singer. So I don't think Taylor Swift's a good singer. So I mean, why not give acting a try, right? And then who knows if they don't like Taylor Swift's acting, then you know what happens to the Bond girls in the Bond movies anyway. So, uh, bye Taylor Swift. They're not going to be renewing your contract. You tried acting for a few episodes. Actually, I shouldn't make jokes. Taylor Swift is very powerful, and she could have to, Taylor Swift is more powerful than James Bond 007. So I shouldn't make jokes. But anyways, no, actually, I think also there's some other Bond girls I'd like to see as Bond girls. I'd like Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis would make a good Bond girl. James Bond. Mila Kunis would make a great Bond girl. Mila Kunis. I think Mila Kunis would be good. I think I would like to see the woman from Resident Evil movies, Mila Djokovic. Mila Djokovic would make a good Bond girl. I'm surprised they haven't asked Mila Djokovic to be a Bond girl yet. She's a bit older now, but she's it's okay. I don't care. I like Judy Dench. I like Judy Dench was great as M. She was. I wish they could have kept her for every movie. I would. But anyways, yeah. So Mila Djokovic would be good as a Bond girl, or even a Bond villain. Actually, they could make a female Bond villain. Um, Halle Berry could return. Actually, Halle Berry, they could bring her back as Jinx, right? Because they didn't actually, they didn't kill her off in the movie, so her character's still alive. So And they could actually bring even Halle Berry back for an episode or two. That'd be cool. They could bring her back as Jinx. Halle Berry's a bit older, but still, who care? I don't care. Like, Halle Berry's great. I would love to see Halle Berry return. I would love to see Halle Berry return in a James Bond 007 TV series adaptation. She could return even just for an episode, which would be great, you know. But yeah, they could have all new Bond girls. They could have James Bond, who's like a player, a ladies' man. It'd be really good. They could make it like an HBO version. It could be like, detective series, but also partly HBO, if you know what I mean. They could make it like partly HBO and then also James Bond detective series. I think it'd be good. I think if I knew how to message like Hollywood producers, I'd be like, "Hey, I have the perfect idea for you. Take the James Bond movies and turn it into a TV series, adapt it into a TV series, and make him like an alpha male, make him like very masculine, very strong, have all these new interesting Bond girls, which would be really cool." Megan Fox. I know the guys, I know the straight guys. The straight guys would love to see Megan Fox as a Bond girl. She's beautiful, Megan Fox. Megan Fox. Um, and all of these guys, these straight guys, they're gushing over, right? Sydney Sweeney is her name, right? Sydney Sweeney is a new actress, but they like her, Sydney Sweeney. All these guys are gushing over Sydney Sweeney, this new Hollywood actress. She could be a Bond girl, so there's just so much potential with a James Bond 007 TV series. Actually, what would be great too, they could have really developed storylines. Like they could do a whole storyline on insider trading. They could do a storyline on corporate greed and banking economics. Like they could do a whole like that would be great with James Bond, a detective series because they could do a whole like insider trading storyline. They could do bank fraud, money laundering, uh, bank fraud, uh, insider trading, pyramid scheme. They could do all those types of things. And when they do a James Bond 007 detective series, right? Be really great. Obviously, there could be other issues. I would love to see where like James Bond becomes like an environmentalist, right? And he's protecting the oceans from like they're dumping pollution in the oceans, right? I'm really big on keeping the earth clean. Like I'm against pollution. I am very against pollution. So I would love to see a storyline and the James Bond 007 detective series where he's like becomes like an environmentalist and he's like trying to protect Mother Earth and he's trying to stop this like evil big company probably owned by communist China. He's probably trying to stop this evil big company from dumping toxic waste into the ocean. That would be, so they could do, there's so much potential with like a James Bond detective TV series. They could do many different storylines. They could even give a Bond girl, they could like give a Bond girl a whole storyline. That would be cool. Like imagine, right, for 3 episodes, if James Bond is like fatal, like almost fatally injured, if James Bond is severely injured, he's in the hospital for 3 episodes. Suddenly, the Bond girl has to like fill in for James Bond, right? Just for 3 episodes, right? And then you just show like him in the hospital, right? That would be interesting, right? And so then we don't have to make James Bond a woman, right? Because there's a bunch of these people that were thinking about making James Bond a woman. No, don't make James Bond a woman. You could keep an alpha male James Bond. Just because he's an alpha male doesn't mean he's like invincible, like he's like immortal. Just because he's an alpha male James Bond doesn't mean he's immortal. So he could still get injured, right? Of course, he might still get injured. They could have him for like 3 episodes. Maybe he's in the hospital, like the alpha male James Bond, and then the Bond girl has to step in for 3 episodes. So there you go. Now you kind of, you could have like the best of both worlds. You could have the masculine alpha male James Bond 007, and then you for 3 episodes the Bond girl can suddenly shine for 3 episodes, right? So I think it would be really cool. I think a James Bond 007 detective series would be great. People would watch. It'd be better than the other crap that's on TV right now. Like it's not as if television right now has like all of these golden TV shows that are so wonderful that like, oh, television, there's a lot of crap shows on television right now. So they're Hollywood, they ran out of ideas. They really did, Hollywood. Like if you look at television right now, television is, not that great right now. So I mean, I think it's a good idea given what's out there right now. I think it'd be better than half the shows out there. A James Bond 007 detective series. So if anyone figures out how to message those Hollywood producers, send them a message and tell them double they should do a James Bond 007 detective series. It'd be good. Good TV series. I would watch it. Let's go to the comments. Someone came in. Uh Not sure what this someone said James Bond the climate protester. No, I don't want to. I don't. I'm not. I didn't say that I want them to make James Bond like Greta Thunberg or whatever. No, that's not what I said. I said I want him to protect Mother Earth from pollution. There's a difference between those climate change protesters, which are like many of them are crazy. There's a difference between that and that whole Greta Thunberg stuff. There's a difference between that and people who just want to protect Mother Earth from pollution. Pollution is a serious problem. We can all agree that pollution is a serious problem. Okay, you know, pollute like look, they can't even see the Hollywood sign. The Hollywood sign is like covered in pollution. Obviously, pollution, smog, pollution's a serious problem. You don't want to pollute Mother Earth. So that's what I meant. But I don't want them to. I never said that they should turn James Bond into some climate protester. No, that's not. That's not what I meant at all. Oh, you know what would be a great idea too? They could do like a whole storyline where James Bond becomes like a ninja, which I just recently found out. I always thought ninjas came from China, but apparently ninjas were originated in Japan. So, anyways, James Bond 007, maybe there's a storyline in the TV series where he goes to Japan or China, right? And he like suddenly is trained how to be like a ninja, right? So that would be cool. Like James Bond 007, the alpha male, he goes to China. He probably bangs a lot of Chinese broads, because he's a ladies' man. James Bond's a ladies' man, James Bond, right? So, James Bond 007, he goes to China or Japan, and the next thing you know, like, and for several episodes, they could make it a whole storyline, a whole season. They could do a whole season where James Bond goes to China or Japan, and then he's trained to be like a samurai or like a ninja, and like suddenly you see like James Bond, like that's the skills. James Bond gets the skills how to be like a ninja. That'd be cool. Like have like a ninja James Bond, and he's British, so he's like a British ninja. That'd be kind of weird. Like you think it's like a BBC commercial or something. Do you like cream in your coffee? Well, I'll happen to let you know that I'm also a ninja, and I, Hadia. No, no, obviously James Bond 007, he doesn't like talk like he's from the BBC, but British people, even the British James Bond, like he sounds funny. It's like, anyways. But I like the British accent. I always love watching British TV shows because I love the British accent. But I can't. Apparently, British people tell me my British accent's horrible. They say I sound like oh, could I have a cup of tea and biscuits? Like, I sound very. But anyways, I know I think that would be funny. I think it would be great. A James Bond, because of course he's British, right? So I think that would be great. I think they could do so much. They could have a whole. They could have episodes where James Bond's in Europe. They could have episodes where James Bond's in Asia, in Australia. They could do a whole Australia episode where James Bond goes to Australia, right? So, yeah, James Bond 007 TV series adaptation. James Bond would make a great TV series. It really would, I think. Because they could mix both the best of both worlds. They could have like a detective, whole detective part of the TV series where he's like a detective. And then they could also have the action part where he's like action. And then also they could have the HBO part. You know what I mean by HBO part? Anyway, and now he's an alpha male. He's a ladies' man. He's tall with muscles and he's strong. And anyways. All right. Well, thank you for listening. I think that's it for this live stream. But adios, sayonara for now. And thank you for coming to the live stream.